So these are the 8 deadly lessons to really heed from my 2 worst trading students ever. So I've taught thousands of students over the years. We've got this really buzzing community of gold members. It's an awesome community. They're just my friends. It's my only social life at the moment. Over the years, I've actually fired 2 people, as in I've banned 2 people from this company, and it's for very good reason. I'm going to share with you. So one of them was this lady. She had paid over £32,000 in workshops, trading workshops, before she even got to me. And she did like a £2,000 course, then a £10,000 special course, then a £20,000 super special course. She was still losing at trading, and when she came, she didn't even know how to place a trade. And I was thinking, how have you spent £32,000 in trading courses? She did my 2-day workshop, and it was really frustrating because nearly every 10 minutes she was like, oh yeah, but at this other company they say you need to do this, this and this. And I'm like, I had to, it was just painful. I kept telling her she needed to forget everything she's ever learned because she was taught crud, basically. Very early on, I knew that she would be a bit of a problem. She had some traits which would disadvantage her as a trader. After a few months, I kept seeing that she was made huge wins, huge losses, huge wins, huge losses. And I'm like, okay, you're doing something wrong here. Your equity curve should not be like this. It should be very slow and steady, like this, with the odd drawdown, etc. She'd suddenly come into lots of money. So I think she had an inheritance type thing, and suddenly came into money, and she had a part-time job, wasn't earning much, but she was obsessed with trying to turn this big lump sum of cash that she had. She's just trying to double it in a year or something. She kept saying, yeah, I'm going to double it this year. And straight away, that's alarm bells for me, because it's really hard to double. I make 100% ROI in just 1 year. Over 5 years, yeah, maybe, but not in 1 year. So she got herself into this gold trade. So one of my rules in our community is never trade gold. Never buy the physical stuff, never trade it. God, I feel like Donald Trump there. Never trade it. He always does this. I will build a Mexican wall. Long story short, she got herself into a muddle with this gold trade, and she was about 10, maybe 15 grand down. She was like, what do I do? What do I do? Oh, I'm gonna lose it, blah, blah, blah. So I very quickly, I dropped everything. I got onto a Skype call with a remote mouse so I could control her mouse. And I had a look at everything, and it was just a mess. And I was like, wow, you could lose 20, 30, 40 grand here, very quickly if we didn't do something. So what I did is I set up a few little sort of safety nets in place, and I did a few sort of things and put some entry orders in and whatnot. And I said, right, okay, you're currently about 12 grand down. This thing is likely to happen over the next sort of few days, and when this thing happens, my little gizmos or whatever, it would make her trade end up 0. She had a 95% probability that this thing would happen and she'd end up making £0. And that was what I wanted. I wanted her to get out break even and hopefully learn a huge lesson. In the morning, I woke up, checked my phone, I could do sometimes. I looked at the price of gold first, and I was like, oh, cool. And I quickly called her up and went, hey, her name, how does it feel? It worked. I thought it would take a couple of days, but it literally worked overnight. And there was a pause. She said about half an hour after the phone call, after I set things up, she was staring at the screen and she got cold feet, and she said, I couldn't go through all of this heartache and end up with £0. And she was like, I had to make some profit. I had to make at least 5 grand from this trade. And what she did, she moved some of my stuff. Yeah, she ended up losing £15,000 by just dicking about with my, she would have ended up break even, but she didn't. And so on that phone call, I ejected her from our community, because I just can't have that. I can't have people running around saying, oh, I lost 15 grand. Oh, how do you lose 15 grand? Well, I did this course with the realistic trader or whatever. So reputation is more important to me than money. So that's one student, and there's lots of lessons here to learn, which we'll see in a bit. The other one was, Well, it is a painful one. This one was a so-called friend. Like, I invited him into my close circle of friends and whatnot. He had a gambling problem, and there were so many times I said, dude, you need to take the money out of your trading account and apply it into your business. You need to redirect that money into your business, because that is really what you need to be working on right now, not trading. But he got into, again, like with the other story, he got into a string of bad trades and ended up losing, like blowing 10 grand or something like that. He had stuff going on in his personal life, and like, when things are going on in your life, don't trade, really don't. You need to be cool, calm, collected, absolutely neutral. And I told him, like, look, this is my strong advice here. Stop trading. Literally, do not do a thing. Take all of the money out of your account and stop trading. Don't trade for at least 6 months. Anyway, he reacted really badly to that. And now anyone that knows me knows I'm brutally blunt and honest. I will always say what I think. And he was like, oh, you're a shyster. You can't teach people, blah blah blah, and then tell me not to trade. But anyway, we fell out. Well, he initiated it really. And I was thinking the other day, I used to run a fund, and I remembered, like, in that year I made him £6,000 in my fund. Yeah, so like, they're my only 2 horror stories in the world of trading, really. What are the 8 lessons? So here are the 8 lessons. So 1, too emotional. You need to be like an absolute robot. No emotions, no greed, lust, fear, hope, revenge, none of those emotions. 2, they're trading too big. They're trading far too much money for what they had, for their income. They weren't focusing on their skills, they're focusing on the money, which is not a good thing. 3, they weren't trading risk money. So whenever you have a trading account or an investment account, you should only trade risk money. So money which you're prepared to lose and you're not too fussed. Nonchalance is a really good thing in the markets. You need to be completely removed from everything, like not really caring, and things go well. 4, too greedy. Like, I don't need to explain that. They're far too greedy. 5, they were overthinking, and they're spending far too much time on the charts. So they place a trade and they just sit there watching it. They're looking at the P&L, oh, I'm up so much, and then they'll be snatching profits and whatnot. 6, they had a get-rich-quick mentality. There's no such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme, not legally anyway. And they're trying, like I said, one of them is trying to double their money in a year, which just doesn't happen. 7, impatience. Yeah, boring trading is good trading. And number 8 is the home life. Home life slash really it should be 9 lessons. If you have a gambling mindset, you need to be careful. I mean, I have a bit of a gambling streak in me, but I've got things to mitigate that. So I have a personal DIY pension account, which no silliness enters at all. It's like completely boring. And then I have a testing account, aka a gambling account, with I never have more than 5 grand in it, and I just go all in. So I see a trade, I'll be really sensible in this account, and then I scratch that itch by going all in on, you know, my testing account. So that is like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, the home life. So both of these people had problems in their home life. They had problems in their job, one had problems in their business, and also personal life. And you just should not trade at all. Full stop. When that happens, prioritize and focus on the real priorities here. And yeah, family is the main one. Bit of a long video, but hopefully that makes sense. If you can identify with any of these things, just mitigate that risk. See ya. Download the last 6 months of bank statements and just analyze every single thing you spend. And then get it to the point where you know what your regular outgoings are, your average one-off items are, and really start measuring stuff, because whatever is measured improves.